I realised when I was probably 12. My parents realised before me, and then once they told me, I didn't believe them. I didn't really think this could happen to me. It's something you read about in magazines, and you sort of see people go through it from a distance, but you never think it can happen to yourself. And so I probably went through it for about half a year before I realised what was happening, and I did kid myself. So it probably took me about 6 months until I realised. I went on holiday with my friend, and she was quite thin, and I was with her family and we were eating chips, and I was eating quite a lot of chips, and so was she. And her dad said, "Oh, can you believe she stays so thin, Mona, when you both eat so much chips?" And I thought, well, that must mean that I'm not very thin and I'm eating too much, and so that for me made me want to eat healthily. And from there, just little things that inspire you to eat healthily build up and eventually make you have an eating disorder. As well as that, I think it's something to do with my personality. I would describe myself as a perfectionist, and I think in wanting to be the best at everything, you can misread thinness as something that's good to have, and then you just want to keep being thinner because you want to be the best. I never threw up, never took pills or laxatives or any of that. I was mainly concerned with restricting what I ate, and I also exercised quite a lot. And the exercises that I did, I was quite strict about. I would do 100 press-ups in the evening, which to me now sounds like a lot, but then because I didn't weigh very much, it was a lot easier than it would be if I wanted to do 100 press-ups now. I initially blamed myself, and then I realised it's probably something that's genetic as well as something that I could have inspired her to do, which made me take the blame away from myself. It was shocking. I didn't really know what I felt. I didn't cry, but I was overcome by emotion and I didn't really know how to express it. When I was 13, probably, I didn't really understand what was going on. I didn't actually know anything about calories or nutrition. I just didn't eat, and people would tell me that if I carried on I would die, but I just couldn't see a way out of it. And since being 13 it was a lot easier because I opened up to people and I was okay about talking, but when I was that young I didn't talk to anyone, and it was quite difficult for me to retain the feeling. I probably for 90% of the time would have admitted that I didn't need help, although in reality I always needed help. But from the point 6 months in when I realised that I had anorexia, I had people in school nurses and teachers and counsellors on my back, because when you're that young, it's the responsibility of the parents, and the NHS take more responsibility as well. Once you get over 16 and once you become 18, there's a lot less help, so I was always helped when I was young. In terms of recovery, it made it easier because in the end we both realised we have to get better, otherwise ultimately we will die, and we turned it into a positive thing. We sort of celebrated being curvy and rewarded each other and went out for dinner together and ate ice cream together and things like that, so we could positively reinforce progress. It's difficult to remember. I can remember feeling lousy and guilty for eating huge amounts of food, but I think it gets to a point where you have enough food in you for your brain to sort of function normally again, and once your brain's functioning normally, it becomes a lot easier. It's difficult to know, because if I hadn't gone through it, I don't know what I would be like if I hadn't gone through it, but I assume I'm a lot more aware of other people's feelings, and I sense when other people are struggling, and I also feel a sort of desire to help. And my sister's the same. She does a lot of charity work relating to eating disorders, and if we know someone personally suffering, we will try to help them. We've got friends now that we try and take out and make them feel good about themselves, and show them we're eating, we've recovered, they can do it. and we just like to help people now.
Yes, I am.